do this in the environment of their house, I guess, so we welcome that. So welcome, this is session 2 of our over 50 employment and financial well-being series. Today we're gonna be talking about job search strategies and networking. So how to get out there, put yourself out, find a job and network, which is a very important thing today. And we've got our presentation here being presented by AJC and the great team over there. So I will turn it over to them.
Do I just click the, what, to
Yeah,
move the
just
slides?
enter to keep advancing.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm Kristen McCloud. I work at part of the Department of Labor and the American Job Center, kind of to help people find employment. So let me go. Okay, technology. There we go. Nope. Okay. Enter. Sorry. Thought I could click the slide. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Give me a second. I'll figure it out. I won't do this now. Okay. So enter. Okay. So the American Job Center is a community resource that provides free assistance for those looking for work and those who are employed, providing opportunities to grow their careers. It's comprised of various agencies that work together to help reform employment, education, and provide training opportunities. And we're located across the state to provide a comprehensive service to help those help themselves find employment and help businesses find talent. So here's the map for Tennessee. We are the Upper Cumberland, so it's that pretty blue above the purple, but we're located across the state and really across the nation. So anywhere you live, you should have access to the comprehensive services at the American Job Center, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and what services are offered at the American Job Center. So at the Job Center, we have what's called career specialists. Those are specialists who can help navigate and create a solid career plan for an individual, help with job training skills, education, provide guidance to the local job market, whatever that might be in the area, and streamline connections with partners for education and or job referrals. Each American Job Center that has a comprehensive site which has all the services, we have a resource center. So much like the library here has a computer room or computer spaces you can use, we have a resource center. So in the resource center, we have computers where you can do job searches. With our system, you can create virtual recruiters, which means you can go in and set up something so it will help you get jobs. It'll do searches for you. We have, of course, internet access and printing and faxing services, and some unemployment assistance. So we also have someone coming in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to help with unemployment. So if you know or need unemployment assistance, we do have an unemployment agent there during the week. So we can provide some limited help to unemployment. Much like today, we have workshops and things that we can do, and here's just some basic topics for job search training. We do resume prep. We can help with those cover letters and references. We do professionalism and soft skills, so we can help you get ready for that job. If it's been a while since you've had an interview, we can help prep you, do mock interviews, dress for success, and things like that. So we have lots of things that we can help. It's all free. Anything that we offer doesn't cost anything, and we're happy to help. So just some partners we have under, because the reason we're kind of called a comprehensive is because we have comprehensive partners, which I have with me today, who are going to speak some. But it's WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, has stuff for youth. We work with reentry individuals, so we help those with justice-involved records. Vocational rehab, so they're here today as we're partnering with them because they're one of our partners where we work together to help those. CSEP, which I have our CSEP representative here today, who's going to talk a little bit about what that Senior Community Service Employment Program, which is a mouthful, that's why they call it CSEP. SNAP ENT, so anybody who's on SNAP benefits has the opportunity, if they want to go back to school for an in-demand field, it's employment and training, so it's like an addition to the SNAP program. And then we also have adult education, so, we have there either to finish your high school equivalency, or if you need job secondary help to get ready to go on to something else. There's English as a second language. So those are just a few things that adult ed can offer. So I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Samantha. This is kind of our CSEP, so we're gonna go in depth. This program's more geared to our seniors, so we felt like it was a better fit for today's discussion for seniors. So Samantha is our CSEP representative, and you can just hit enter instead of whatever I was trying to do.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, just hit enter.
Okay.
It'll work.
Good deal, good deal. Well, I'm Samantha, and, I'm the CSEP coordinator. You, might have heard the program also called Older Workers Program. They kind of go interchangeable. But, so what CSEP is, it is the Senior Community Service Employment Program, and like she said, that is a mouthful, so CSEP is a better term, but a lot of times when I say that, people will be like, I have no idea what CSEP is, so I just say older workers. So it's our older workers program. They also call it Title V, because that's where their funding stream is. But it's work-based job training program for older Americans. And, it's been around for a very, very long time. It's for those who are, low income, and I'll get to that next slide in just a second, but it's for those who are low income, they're unemployed, they need some extra help. So, and you know, we all can use extra help, but it seems to happen a lot when we get older. But our program goals, we try to place participants in community service assignments through local host agencies, and we'll talk more about what those are, the host agencies. And then we want to move them to unsubsidized employment. So what that means is unsubsidized employment, if you don't know what that means, because some people don't, it means that it would be with a public or private sector, and they've not been given the funding to hire them. They're actually just, you know, paying them. So it's just such a great program, and it's great to work with the older community, and none of us in here are older community. That's a joke. I don't know if we are or not. I'm not, by any means. But anyways, so our eligibility is age 55 or above. That's not very old, but that's what they consider to be the older workers. So 55 or above. They have to be a current resident of the state of Tennessee, and they have to be unemployed. I have a lot of people that'll come to me sometimes. I say a lot. I've had several, and they're not really making very much money. Let's say they're around 58 or so they've not started drawing a check, but they're working, trying to work, but it's not a very good setup, and so they're not making a lot of money. But they're wanting to be in CSEP, but the thing is, if they already have a job, then they will not qualify. So that's a thing, you know, that I always have to make sure they understand in the beginning. So also, they have to have a family income that's not more than 125% of the federal poverty income guidelines. They actually changed the guidelines going into this year, but it used to be, if you were a household of one, you couldn't make more than $18,800 and something. It's a little over $19,000 now, which some people think sounds like a lot of money, but it's not. So if that's all they're making, it's hard to live on that, and you know, they really do need the extra help. So priority of service, of course we always do our veterans first, and we do have a lot of veterans that come through the program. We need individuals over age 65. The program's 55, but if they're over 65, they're gonna be priority of service. Having a disability also is another one. Low literary skills, if they're limited English proficiency, reside in a rural area. Also, if they're homeless or they're at risk of being homeless. And someone asked me one day, well, what does that mean, a risk of homelessness? Well, really, basically, we probably are all at risk of homelessness. I mean, how long could you go, you know, if you lost your job or something happened with, you know, keeping your home? I mean, most of us are not set to do that more than just maybe 6 months at the most. So a lot of them are at risk of homelessness. Also, low employment prospects. This is another one. Usually anyone that is in the older community have low employment prospects, because the older we get, the harder it is We can't perform at the ways we used to, and so they're gonna have lower employment prospects. Failed to find a job after using the American Job Center services. So like Kristen was saying, we have so many things to offer at the American Job Center, so many titles there, and they do so much. And they do a really great job. I was telling one of our Title 3 yesterday, Brad, he did a workshop, and he left that door open, but I'm assuming because it was just him and another person, you know. And I had my door open, but I could hear everything he was doing, and it was so good. All it was over was just soft skills and some professionalism and some things, you know, like to do to help you with interviewing. And I just thought to myself, man, that's really good. But I don't know how the person was, but I thought to myself too, I was like, you know, but even with all the services we offer, sometimes it's just hard. It's just hard to get a job. It just is sometimes. So, you know, once they've been through all of that and they're still having issues, you know, we want to help them. And so I always tell all the other ones, the other titles in the office, I'll say, you know, if they're 55 or older, and you know, y'all not had any luck yet, even if you're not, I mean, even if they're right at 55 and older, but maybe you're having some luck, still send them my way, because I can help them hopefully. So,
I have a question for you.
yes.
So if they really wanted us to work, why is it so hard to get a job?
Why is it so hard?
Yeah, why do I have to work just to go to work?
Gotta work to go. That's the truth,
That's
isn't
crazy.
it?
I gotta pay somebody just to work now.
Well, the good thing about us is we're all free. So we have these are free services that we offer to help you to get better. So, and you're not 55 and older, but you know, we still offer a lot of
Confused,
services. It is hard.
Why is it so hard to go to work?
I
If they
know.
wanted me to have a job, it'd be easier. It's not that
Easier to
easy,
get
so
one.
I don't think they want me to work.
I know we go through bouts with that sometimes, because sometimes it's very easy to get jobs because everybody's hiring, and then sometimes it's like it's not so much. So, you know, with CSEP though, with our older workers, we the hours and the pay, so they don't make very much. They only make $7.25 an hour, but that's very good, just to supplement, because many of them get a check, their Social Security. And so that just helps out, and you'd be surprised how much it really does help them. They only can work 20 to 22 hours a week. My CSEP right now, I have most of them doing around 25. I'm not allowed to go over 29. That changes sometimes year to year depending on our funding. So, but most of them do around 25. Some do a little lower, some do, you know, a little higher. I've got some that do 27. But because this is a training program, these dollars do not count toward public assistance programs such as SNAP or housing assistance. And I always make sure I let them know that, because I've had a few, because sometimes SNAP doesn't know. They see their check stubs coming through, and it's coming through the contract, which is right now Career Team. It's where Career Team is paying them, and that's where the fund's coming from. So when SNAP sees that, they don't understand, oh, this is the CSEP program. So they in turn try to say, we need to talk about your benefits because you're making money. And so then I have to get involved, and I usually send a letter and that type of thing and explain, you know, this is part of the CSEP program, blah, 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 and that shouldn't be held against them. And so they're always very understanding after that. A host agency, I said earlier we would talk a little more about that. So a host agency is exactly what it says. It's an agency that hosts the CSEP participant. They have to be a government or a nonprofit, and these organizations, they just act to host the participant, and what they're doing is they're teaching them some skills. They need them there. They really do. I mean, a lot of times these are places that could not hire anybody because they don't have the funding. So when they have their CSEP person there, they really want to train them. They want them to do a good job, not only for themselves, but also to help their business out or their nonprofit. So, sorry, whose phone is it?
That's fine.
Okay. I was like, is this my phone? But I didn't know because it was ringing. So some examples of host agencies, you got health departments, we have the schools, adult ed programs, police departments, we have the public library. We've had people here before that's in CSEP. I've had a lot of people. I've had several in Monterey. I have some in Fentress County. Any city or county office have some people at the chambers, different places like that. I have several in just nonprofits in general. I have a couple that's at the UC Foster Closet right now. They help out a lot there. They're always needing help, like going through the donations and things like that. Talking to the people, taking in the donations, writing slips, stuff like that. So, answering phones even. I mean, those are skills that you don't think about, but they do come in handy. So, how long can this last? I have a lot of people ask me that. How long am I going to do this? So the lifetime limit is 48 months, which is 4 years. Also, they like average is around 27 months. I start working with them fairly quickly, probably a year and a half in, just like we offer workshops every 3 months, I do. But I also try to work with them as they go around a year and a half, like what are your plans? Let's talk about that. I mean, we set goals at the beginning, but what are your plans? A lot of times life happens. Sometimes they get sick, sometimes their spouse gets sick, or they have a family member and so they have to take some time off. Or sometimes, they're raring to go. They want to get a job. I've got one that she actually got hired at a bank. And I was very impressed. Did a really great job. And then now she's decided, we talk a lot, she calls me to tell me, now she's decided she's gonna take advantage of some free CNA classes. And she thinks she's gonna do that for a while. So you're never too old to, be out there exploring your careers and deciding what you wanna do. A lot of it's just, set your mind to it. And so that's what she did. She had children and stuff and stayed at home as a young adult. And so now that she's grown older and they've left and she's just ready to go out there and, conquer the world. So, and that's what we want to do. We just want to help. And then this is my information. If you know someone that is 55 or older, unemployed, and would qualify with low income. So, I'd be happy to help them, talk to them, get them signed up, get them placed, and, get them out there working. I mean, a lot of times with the older workers, not just having the job and the income, but some of it's just the well-being. Because I know when my mom, when she retired, she kind of went downhill, fairly quickly. Because some people just lose purpose, especially if that's all you ever did was work your whole life. It's like, what am I supposed to do now? So, I don't want people to do that. I want them to know that they still have purpose. And that's what this program is all about. So, I think that's it for my part.
Okay, so I was gonna ask,
Yes.
I know the answer, but I should have put a slide and I can fix
Okay.
that later. Counties that you cover, I know CSAP is a statewide
It is.
program,
Mhm.
but I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
It is a statewide program. The counties I cover are Putnam, Cumberland, Fentress, Jackson, and Macon. I only cover 5. I am more on the state side, more of the federal side. We actually have a lady, I think, at the UCHRA that does it on the state side, and she covers, we actually double on 2 counties, I think Putnam and Cumberland, but I may be wrong about that. But anyway, she covers some different counties. But if you have any questions or you know somebody from a different county I did not say, I could put you in touch with the people that do those counties, because we all talk. So we just want to help people. It doesn't matter, which one of us do it. So I don't know. Does that answer pretty well?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I happen to think that it is a statewide program.
It is a statewide program.
But, we don't cover every one of those counties, but,
But I can put you in
yeah,
touch
we
with
can get you in
anybody
touch with
needs,
any county in our 95 counties, so.
Okay.
Is the state program and the federal program the same?
They are the same.
They're the same.
All of it runs the same, so.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know exactly how and why they pick and choose
I don't either.
how their counties fall, it's just above our pay grade.
Yeah.
So we just kinda, but there are programs and a certain number of slots across the state, so regardless of whether you're going through UCHRA's people, or, I mean, some of our counties come out of different areas. It's the exact same program, it's just who you report to or where you get your tip from, it's all the same guidelines. So, and I'll put that, I'll send this PowerPoint out to you and you can have it for the counties and whatnot. So the next part is just kind of some other topics we wanted to talk about today is kind of understanding today's job market and some job search strategies, where to look for a job, maybe a little networking stuff, how to upskill and continuous improvement on learning, and mindset and things. So we got a few more slides, so just bear with us. So, okay, understanding today's job market. So it's kind of hard to see on the slide, but so basically we're seeing that people 55 and older are staying on the job market a lot longer than they used to, and this projection goes all the way to the year 2050. So the gold line kind of here, and goes up, the dotted line, you can see that growth, that's 65 and over. So it's projected that it's going to start mirroring that younger group. The orange group is 35 to 54. So there's a huge jump, I mean, with the way the market is, and just the skills and the things that the older community, those older people, we have, I'm getting closer and closer to that 55 age, so as I get there, I feel like the experience that the older worker brings to the table, we have a lot to offer. And to teach the younger generation. I have a lot of younger staff that I work with, and I'm like, okay guys, let's get motivated, let's do stuff. So I mean, I think we have a lot to offer to the younger generation, and then just with the way life is, we're having to work longer, we have longer lifespan, so we don't want to just go home and stop working. I mean, it sounds great and all, but then I take a week off and I'm like, okay, I'm a little bored now, what am I gonna do? So that's maybe why that trend's going that way. Cost of everything goes up too, so we're just trying to make ends meet. But I feel like it's also just that purpose, to have something to do with our lives. So, navigating ageism in the workplace. Older workers, like I said, they possess a wealth of soft skills and effective communication. So, be sure and highlight those skills and accomplishments. Do a self-assessment of yourself. Focus on what skills you can bring to the workplace. Make sure you're updating and showcasing those relevant abilities in your resume, and if that's something you need help with, that's what the Job Center's for. We can definitely help you with that. Emphasize those soft skills, and soft skills is just an all-encompassing, what fits in the workplace. Good communication, timeliness, neatness, those kind of things, and we offer lots of workshops on just improving your soft skills and communication and things. A big thing is technology, just being able to navigate technology. I mean, I remember back in the days when, we didn't have cell phones, computers, where no one had one in their homes, they were just in labs. So continuously learning how to use technology and keeping up with the digital age, and research what trends, if you're interested in going into something, what do you need for the job you want? So I'm sure as part of the little lady that Samantha's worked with, I'm sure computer skills, we have a lot of people come into the Job Center and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this thing? I don't know what it is. And we offer computer classes. And it's more of a very, very basic, here's some basics. And we'll talk about some other resources, like Goodwill has more in-depth classes. So there's research, there's free resources out there to help you get comfortable with those kind of things. But definitely technology, don't let it be a barrier. There are opportunities out there to help you become more comfortable. And just being mindful of your self-presentation. Dress professionally and have that positive attitude. It'll project confidence in anything you do. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, older workers, including anyone over the age of 55, it's illegal over the age of 40 to discriminate because of age. So just kind of be aware of those kind of things. Here are some stereotypes and some resolutions that you may have heard or think of. Older workers don't plan on staying in the job force very long. Well, that's not always true. We just saw the chart where people look like they're staying a lot longer. So find a way to let that come through if you're interested in working for a long time. A lot of times in interviews you get the question, well, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? Well, I wouldn't say I'm going to retire in 5 years, because that's just going to make them think, well, I don't want to hire that person because they won't be here long. If you intend on being around, just hey, I'm very excited to be here and I want to be here. So do away with that stereotype. There's a stereotype that we're overqualified and therefore they're gonna be too expensive. Well, just be smart about what you wanna do and go in with a realistic mindset of, I know I've got this experience in this field, but maybe I wanna change fields, and you're gonna have to understand, you don't have the experience in that field, so maybe what you were making at an old job, you know, I always say it's easier to get a job when you have a job, and it's easier to do something because you have that comfort of knowing that, you're gonna be able to pay your bills and things just by having that job. Older workers have low energy and are often sick or need to use their time. That's not true. I mean, cite your attendance record. If you've got a good, like I've been at work every day, I mean, my sick thing, I have all these hours, you know, communicate that I have energy and engagement. So if you do, I mean, just make sure that they understand that, no, I mean, just because I'm a little older doesn't mean I don't have as much energy as, I mean, maybe I can't go hiking after work, or maybe I can't do the bar hopping after work, or I can't do the dancing, you know, but I can work all day. Older workers lack the technology skills and require extra training time. Well, I mean, as we know, technology is ever evolving and ever changing, but we don't want to overstate that what we can do, but make sure you know what your skills are, and if it is a little weak, say, hey, this is what I'm doing to get better. I'm attending these classes, I'm taking this, I'm eager to learn. Doesn't mean that I know everything, but really, who does know anything and everything? I've got sons that are over here at Tech in computer science, and I mean, they're learning to be computer science majors, but we're never gonna know everything there is to know on everything. So anybody who thinks they do is just kind of out there, kind of crazy in my opinion, because basically, we can learn something new every day. So be excited to say, I'm ready to learn about that technology and that skill. And that last one, older workers can adapt. Well, make it clear that you're comfortable with that change and you'll follow through with stuff. So some job search strategies. Just make sure that you're open to different possibilities. Maybe you've left your full-time job and you want to work remote, or maybe you just start something part-time, volunteer work. Like when my mom quit working over here at Tech, the first thing she did is she took a few months and she's like, oh my gosh, this is too slow for me. So she started volunteering at the hospital. She didn't need the extra income at that time, so just getting out and engaging in the community, and that could lead to a job opportunity, you know. So not everything has to be, if pay's not, you know, required. Just being out there and open to other opportunities helps with that networking too, which we'll talk a little bit about. But do a skills inventory. If you don't know, we have those at the job center where you can do a skills assessment. What are you good at? What were you doing, and is that something you want to continue as you get older into something? But don't overlook some skills that you could use that are transferable into another line of work. Maybe you're good with people and you were answering phones at your job, but now you want to work more with people, but maybe you could work somewhere where, you know, you're engaging with them or something. So just make sure you don't overlook any of those skills and match those to a job outcome. So when you're looking for your jobs, read the job description. Well, that sounds like something I could do, or oh my gosh, it's something I never would do. So don't set yourself up in that job search to be like, you know, failure basically. Make sure you update your resumes to kind of mirror that job description and that job posting, so that when that employer looks like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. They've got the skills I need and the experience I want for the job. Here are some good online job search sites. AARP has a good site. Of course, Jobs for 10, that's the site, the program platform we use at the job center, and Indeed. So these are all reputable. There's other ones out there, Monster, you know, other LinkedIn. You'll see a lot of social network, like Facebook has HIPs. I think of those come to mind where they post jobs and stuff. But so those common tasks you can do is search or apply for jobs. They allow you to post, create, make a resume, and it gets a feel for the area jobs and what they pay. I can speak really well on, of course, Jobs for 10, because that's ours, but we also do labor market information. So not only can you search the jobs, but you can see, well, what could I expect to get paid for said job? What does a CNA make in Putnam County versus Nashville? If I'm going to do the same work, would I want to go to Nashville? But wait a minute, Nashville costs more money to live, so would it be better to do the same job in a smaller place? So those are things that you can look at and talk about what the pay is and what the living income is there. Always avoid, there's so many out there, but you shouldn't have to pay for your job searches. There's enough out there with what we've got. I think there's I was looking over the topics you had, Jeff, and there's something about safety in the internet and scams. So be very careful. No one should, especially these up here that I've listed, should never ask for you to put some money in. You should set up an account, but you shouldn't have to pay for those job searches. And if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. And that's just in life, not just job searches. So some networking essentials. This is where my other partner in crime was supposed to take over. So I will just kind of make my way through this as best I can. And then of course the other partner just kind of left. So anyway, we're just gonna roll with it. Networking essentials. We've talked a little bit about job searching and whatever, but you wanna make sure that building and maintaining a professional network of either former colleagues, maybe you were in the workforce and you built some good friends and connections, either reconnect with them or try to get somewhere that has those connections that you can help with people to connect you. And LinkedIn and Facebook are two places. LinkedIn is a very professional platform where you can build that and search things. Facebook, as my kids say, is for old people. So I mean, they're more into Insta or all the other younger platforms, but online, it helps you learn about industries and companies. So, and sites like that are good to market yourself and look for jobs. Before you log in or do anything with these sites, most of them are gonna want you to create an account. So there's nothing wrong with what you do, but make sure you're careful what you put online. And I can give you an example of this. Back when I worked for another employer, some of the people, this was when Facebook first came out, they were using a lot of these platforms to put personal stuff on, and maybe some of the things they did didn't align with the company's beliefs or what they wanted to do. So it's when it's out there in the World Wide Web, anybody can see it, and it could come down to, well, we don't know that you fit with our company's profile anymore, so we don't want, it could lead to termination actually. So just be mindful of what you do. And also something I recommend for people is do a search on yourself. I mean, just put your name in and see what comes up. And sometimes you might be surprised, oh, that's not me, or, make sure that you're aware of what's out there, because it's your name and it's your image, and you wanna make sure what's out there is true and factual. But definitely do online when you're doing in those discussion boards, make sure if there's a frequently asked questions page, review that to make sure you're posting appropriately. A lot of those Facebook groups or LinkedIn's will have, well, do this, don't do this, so be mindful. You always want to stick to the topic and limit your response to the current topic, and consider, what response to all or to an individual. Preparing for an interview. Ugh. How many people like to have an interview? No, I don't know of a single soul. So that's something we can help with at the job center. We've got workshops specifically geared to interviewing, and then we can actually set up mock interviews. So you want to prepare what kind of questions you're going to ask. So you can actually, the internet's been a great thing, because I know when I was having to interview for jobs, you could actually Google, what are some typical questions asked of a CNA, typical questions asked of a teller, and it gives you some ideas, or just basic interview questions. So we look up those and we do things like that. If you have a gap in your employment history, you want to be sure to be able to address that. Maybe you were a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home grandma for a few years. Have a reason, and address it before they ask. Oftentimes it'll help them understand, oh, well, they didn't work for a while because of a health thing, taking care of somebody, or just didn't need to work and I was just doing my own thing. Those soft skills, and make sure that you talk about dependability and your ability to communicate at any age is always an asset. With the many jobs in the market that are out there right now, the experience and assets that we can bring to a job should be valued, and being mindful that your story reflects the openness and willingness to learn new skills. and articulate your accomplishments, brag about what you've done. You've got to tell your own story, because if you don't tell your story, they're not gonna know what a great person you are. So we talk a lot about at the Job Center, we forget to tell our story a lot of times of our successes. So brag about what you did. I completed this certificate, I've got this training under my belt, I've become a CNA, I'm learning a new skill. So be sure that you share those wins with your resume or with your interview process. This may sound silly, but practice in a mirror with a friend or family member, or if all else fails and you want to really have good practice, come to the Job Center. We'll set you up with a mock interview. We can do it as a panel or individual, and it's always good to practice. So after doing all that practice, just we'll be happy to help. So mindset and motivation. A little self story on myself. So back in 2020, when the world kind of went on tilt for a while, I was in the market for having to look for a new job. So I'd had a job for 23 years, and suddenly I was having to figure out how to interview, right in the middle of the pandemic. Not anyone's idea of great. So really that mindset and motivation was, well, I've got to have a job and my family depends on me. So you just got to overcome that fear of starting and being overlooked, because I thought, how in the world am I going to get a job in this time when we're all masking and hiding in place? So just embrace that change is going to happen, and with your experience, what you bring, and being able to communicate that. Pursue something that you're passionate about. I mean, it's much easier to get a job or talk to somebody about something that you yourself enjoy. If I were to go into banking or accounting, I don't think I mean, I'm not a numbers person. I don't so I wouldn't look for a job in something that I wasn't passionate about. I had a job with children and education, so I wanted something that I could continue using my skills with teaching and speaking and helping people. So that's kind of where I ended up landing. So set clear goals for yourself. Well, I plan on applying for 5 jobs this week and maybe hopefully get an interview. And so know what your goals are and focus on those opportunities rather than always the circumstance of, well, if I don't get this job, then what am I going to do? You know, there's help out there. You just got to be open and trying to find it. Sorry, there's a quote on here that didn't show up. It's a rather long quote, but I think it's from A Breath of Life in Your Resume. So Dr. Jeanette Benet, she said, to have a good attitude, you must focus not on your circumstances, but rather the new opportunities that will be open to you. Look at everything you have to offer. You are a talented individual with great skills, and those skills are transferable. If you do not have the right mindset, the job hunt will feel like an uphill battle. Carrying a negative, pessimistic outlook not only impacts how you view things, it also carries over into your tone of your resume, of your opportunities, and your documents that you present. So be mindful of what you do. Perhaps this is the reason we are not getting any calls. So like I said, I thought that was just very, your mindset's going to spill over into everything you do. So if you've got I'm never going to get that job, then that's going to, whether you mean to or not, spill over into everything you do. So mindset and motivation are just critical to anything. In life, in job search, and just in general. So upskilling and continued learning. As we've talked, technology is just rapidly exploding. By staying up to date on these trends, and that's something we have partners that can offer training. Goodwill has a lot of classes. We have courses that we can do online to share with people. So it's just important to know what the business, the industry, the job you want. What are the skills you need, and how can I get the skill I need? If you're not sure what skill you need, then by all means, we can help you with the Job Center with that. A friend, maybe you've got someone that you've known from church or from community group or the library. Hey, you've got a job at such and such. I'd like to work there. What do I need to get that job? Oh, well, I've got this training. I've got this connection. And, that's back to that networking, talking to people to find out what skills and where can I learn that. We also have opportunities if you qualify, like I had said, with SNAP. Maybe you're on SNAP ET, and we have some help to help pay for some paid training, but there's not always, there's lots of opportunities for free training to help upskill and do things. And that takes us into the community resources. Of course, top of my list would be the Job Center, because everything we do and offer is free, with the workshops we offer monthly. And then Goodwill is a great partner of ours that does a lot of more, what I think is more intensive courses on like computers and Google Analytics and some of those other job skills. The public library obviously has great resources for workshops and trainings and meetings. UCHRA here in town, the senior centers in our community have things, even if it's not business skills. Maybe there's just, I think I drove by and I saw like a crafts day or just some engagement to network. So maybe that's a way to connect in your community, churches, things like that. Anybody, I'm looking at my back row over here. Anything else you would add for community resources? I've talked a lot.
She nails it.
So, and I kind of talked a little bit about the non-traditional opportunities, maybe part-time, maybe consulting, freelancing. Maybe you were really good at something you did in advertising and you just want to go out on your own and do it part-time, maybe doing business cards or logos. So doing something freelance. One of the girls in our office in adult ed does crocheting. So she's off there and she's off sewing and doing things. So something she really enjoys. It's kind of exciting to see as she goes to crafts fairs and she's doing things online actually and selling her passion, you know, her pastime is and one of my ladies at work does a lot of it. She joked one day that she didn't like a shirt in her closet, so she whipped up a shirt one day before work. I was like, you made a shirt before you came to work? Yeah, I just whipped up a new shirt. So taking those skills that you like, quilting, sewing, some of those dyeing skills in my opinion, because we've all don't have time to learn how to knit and to crochet. So I would love to be able to quilt like my grandma did, but we just don't take the time. We've got another friend in the office who's he brought in cookies this morning from a local person who's got a passion for baking. So those little startups, maybe just those are side businesses or what we call side hustle, but those side hustles sometimes can turn into big things. So don't be afraid to do something entrepreneur-ish, and that's probably not a word, but be out there freelancing and doing things. And like I said, volunteering is a pathway to employment, and just those remote benefits. So I think I probably talked myself really fast through all this, and that brings us to questions. So she's like, no, I'm good.
Questions?
Jeff?
I don't know. Am I the only person?
Well, our online audience, and I don't know if they have a way or if,
I don't think so. I
That's-
think they do. They
just
have
a
it.
recording, that's fine.
Well, and it's live, but I don't know if they have a way. If they do, they have an app.
They have it, okay. Well, I didn't know if there was a chat feature or what, but.
So this will be online to review.
Yes.
It'll be on
Okay.
our
I
Facebook.
missed the other one. My newspaper didn't come until days after, and I didn't see it on the Sunday before or something. So okay.
Well, the good thing is you didn't miss much on the first one because it was
I didn't.
basically the same
Okay.
thing. It was an introductory to what we're doing
Is it
and
okay?
then the job. So
Well.
this one's,
Yeah, so,
Okay. So community resources. That's I don't know what there is. So are you with American Job Center?
yes, so I work here in American, do you live in Putnam County?
I do.
Okay, yeah, so do you know on Jefferson where Electronic Express is? And so our office is behind A1 Cleaners. So we have an office here in town, and so all the services, we have a little flyer over here that has our information,
Okay.
some services, and so Samantha works in the office, I'm in there with my staff and all the things that we talked about.
Okay.
Job searching, resumes.
Okay. Yeah, that's I don't know. Well, yes. Apparently, I'm old, and
we like to call that seasoned.
Experience.
I am seasoned, and it's been a whirlwind several past years. But now I know that I need to color my hair. I am a young. You wouldn't know. People,
And we're only as
people
old as we
usually say,
feel, and the
"What?"
age is just a number, so those are, I
It
mean,
is just.
the older we get, the more I believe those
It
things.
is just a number. But I'm like, my mom still has cows, and I've been like a farmer girl.
There you go.
And it's starting to, your elbows, like, man, this stuff's getting heavy.
My aunt used to say getting old's not for sissies, so, I mean,
It's not. And, I've learned how to drive a tractor. I've whipped up the little chainsaw to try to figure out, you know, how are you gonna work this, cause you got a tree down on your fence. I'm like, Mama, we get rid of some of these animals. But, yeah, classes, so I've been out of the workforce for a while, quite a while. Offer classes and computer courses, you saying Goodwill's has
Well,
many?
so, absolutely, so we offer just a basic computer class, just kinda get to know the computer, get comfortable with searches. We have one of my staff kind of, so teaches you where not to, like, what is a reputable site, how to tell if you're on a good site. So you could start with us, and then Goodwill actually has offices across the street, basically, from us over there, and they have more, like, we have some online classes, like, for brushing up on Excel and Word, and just anything like that.
That's.
And
I'm
then
sure
they
that's
have
what
more in-depth,
they
like,
do. Okay.
he goes more into classes and stuff, but we partner together, and we can also help with any of those other skills and workshops and things that we
Okay,
offer.
so the Goodwill, I went there a couple years ago, but
Absolutely.
it was the beginning of the pandemic, and
No,
I've not had to do a resume since 1999.
well, we definitely can help with
And
that.
now it's like
I've got a
blank.
card up here at for your Sunday night, you can grab a card for the office, and then there's a little
Okay.
card that's got some stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, you can stop by without an appointment if someone's available, or you can call and make an appointment, and that way you don't have to wait for
If someone can help you what to, I mean, it's,
Yeah, set up an account
I mean,
and
I don't
teach
even
you.
know what to say. I grew up here. I'm looking for like courses to get caught back up, but I don't qualify for, I don't know, 55 something, go back to school.
Mhm.
I did go to college and I do have a BS. I've got an AS also.
Okay.
I just never worked in the field
Yeah,
of
well,
journalism.
absolutely, and brushing up on stuff, cause like I said, but yeah, stop by,
Okay,
one of my staff or our staff here. at the
someone can help me
office.
do something.
Absolutely.
And I've been a busy girl, like I said, I moved back home from Florida, I lived down there for 25 years and, worked in an oncologist office for 17. And, you know, I was just noticing my dad had passed away, and I'm like, she's here all by herself, we don't have family here, it's just us, and that's another thing, is like, I don't know people, I don't know, you know, when I was here, I used to work for Arnold Lefkowitz on the square. Well, he's died. But I'm like, that letter he wrote, letter of recommendation was beautiful. And I'm like, this is, how old?
Well, absolutely, but yeah, so I would encourage just to stop by and sit
Okay.
down, I mean,
I will.
and make either, like I said, come by and see someone, just see what's
Mhm.
going on over there, and then make an appointment with one of the staff, and then go from there.
Go from there. And the other thing where it's the low wages, it's a job for older people,
The CSEP,
CSEP.
the senior community, yeah, CSEP.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just so
I always wanna try to remember what they stand for, and my mind stops after
Senior Community
Service
Service
Employment Program. See?
Okay, so
But yeah,
that's,
that's maybe something.
is that hard to get a job with that?
No, it's not hard to get jobs, as long as you qualify.
I mean, I may be lower in the bar, I don't know. I think I'm just, for lack of working for so long,
Mhm.
This will get a foot in the door.
I feel.
Yeah, a foot in the
This
door,
will get
some
your foot in the
experience,
door for
and like I
sure.
said, I mean, I don't know income or whatever, I know there are income-based programs, but sometimes even that volunteer, if you've got the hour or two, I know like my mom did the hospital, and there's other places I'm sure to volunteer,
Right.
that gets a foot in the door that shows you've got the skill, like, if you don't qualify, so don't give up if you don't qualify for those things, cause sometimes volunteering at church, or the community center, or the senior center, or wherever will get you the foot, and then that's still, I tell like my college kids, I'm like I've never had a job, or my reentry folks, I've never had a job, I'm like, you've done something to get through in life, like we work with people at the rescue mission, or people who just got out of jail, I've never had a job. Well, did you cook in jail? Did you cook at the rescue mission? Did you cook at the home? Well, yeah, so you can cook. Did you do landscaping? So there's skills out there that are transferable. So like if you are able to, do something somewhere, think about those skills. The chainsaw skill, I couldn't operate a chainsaw if I had to, so, you know, those skills.
Oh, I'm trying it when I get home, I don't know.
Well, be very careful, I would
Look,
say.
I'm
But-
afraid of electricity, it takes me 2 minutes to plug the toaster in. I literally have almost been electrocuted 3
Oh,
times in my
no.
life.
Well, like I said, so don't forget about those life skills that may
Yes,
transfer and
yes.
stuff. So I say all that to,
I've taken care of my mom, I mean, I've
yeah,
probably
healthcare,
saved her life about 5 times. I've rehabbed her, I'm like, I should have been a women therapist, people.
absolutely.
And I'm like, you know, got her going good, I'm like, I wish I didn't get paid for it.
Right,
Well, it's never too late to learn, as they say.
absolutely,
If
so,
that's a passion, that's something you can pursue. You know, medical is a growing field.
it's a huge in demand field of things, so.
Yeah.
And I mean, all
I
the
wish
way
I
from
knew what
just,
my passion was, is there a test for that?
we have aptitude tests, we have different things that will ask you crazy questions, and it'll be like at the end, well, it sounds like you would be good at this, this, or that. So we do have self-assessments, both in the Jaws for 10, and we have Career Edge, so there's different assessment tools we have. So, like, one of my staff says, I don't know what I wanna do when I grow up. I mean, my husband says that all the time, I mean, he's like, I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
so I get it, it's like our
I'm not
passions
alone.
change and our
But
desires.
yeah, I'm like, don't be desperate, I know you wanna be debt free, and I need to work for 20 more years, I still have a house payment, I mean, I don't know.
It's so good. Well,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
no,
you're
this is,
fine. Yeah, we're all
I mean,
here.
this is a Q&A session of my presentation
I'm
of
trying
what
to
Jeff's
think,
done.
is there any other centers or help or courses, training, that you can think of?
Well, and that's why we come into the office, cause it would be geared to maybe what you're interested in.
There's so
and
many
more targeted.
different, seems to be, and I don't know about them, we've never qualified for any kind of help but I don't know what's out there, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the aging and see if, you know, does my mom qualify for anything?
And
Yeah.
that's the biggest challenge, I think, in life, is the number of resources are out there,
But no
but
one
it's
knows.
hard to connect them, so you really have to do your legwork, but.
Yeah, cause I was also thinking with aging, cause I mean, UCDD has the aging and, you know,
Yeah,
it's
there's
under them. with
UCHR,
and
there's a
UCHR.
UCDD, there's so many different pieces of the puzzle, you know, for a person that's not been in the system, so to say.
Right.
I just don't even know.
And AJC is a good place to start.
We're a great place to start, cause
They'll
we
give you
kinda,
the resources.
yeah, we just try to, and they'll meet individually and do a career, like, what do you need, and what's going on, and then hearing those things, like I heard that aging, I'm like, well, I know that ship, you know, over at UCDD and our partners there, or Voc Rehab, I mean, there's different things, if working is the goal, then Voc Rehab has resources too, regardless of age, Jeff, right?
Regardless of age, you just
It's
have
just
to have
a
a diagnosed disability.
Right,
but
so there's help
disabilities
out
are-
there, so,
Okay,
just don't give up,
start with that.
start with us, and we'll go from there.
Okay,
It's scary, but it's doable.
it
Yeah.
is, I really feel ashamed, but
So you shouldn't,
I did have a, you know, anyway, it's a long
It's okay.
story, nobody
It
cares.
is, it's good. That's why
Everyone
we're
has a
here.
story.
That's right.
So I'm gonna grab you a card and a brochure so you don't forget, and then Jeff, I think that's my presentation, my
Here's a
story,
reading
and I'm
list of
speaking
some
to
books
it.
that are out there that hit on this topic. And then this is a survey we'd ask you to fill out.
Oh, I did hear. Oh, okay.
And then we
So
share
fill
that
both
with,
these out.
no, just the one. We share it with the library.
Oh, okay.
So this is just a very general basic, and then my card personally, it has our address, which like I said, it's behind A1 Cleaners there on Jefferson.
Okay.
Easy to find, but we're behind, you won't see it in the street.
Okay.
And then our next presentation is on, financial literacy, budgeting and saving for the future. That's going to be presented by the Tennessee Financial Literacy Commission, and that's Tuesday, February 11th from 10 to 11:30. We're doing these every second and fourth Tuesdays of the month through May. So we've got a lot of good classes coming up. We've got the one after this literacy will be Social Security. Social Security Administration will come in and they'll talk about Social Security. That'll be on the 25th, I believe, of February. We've got one is, Kristen mentioned, we're gonna be covering scams with the Attorney General. We'll be down talking about that towards April, so that's a good one.
Oh,
There's
okay,
a lot of
it is.
stuff out there
We get
that
a lot of
people need to know
scam
about.
calls, you know, my mom's insurance, even someone changed it.
Yes, there's a lot out there.
And
Very
I mean,
scary.
that was, I feel like I've been the customer representative ever since I quit my job. I moved up here, my first brand new car I ever had, hit Chattanooga, bam. I mean, I'm glad we're alive, but you know, me and my daughter ended up in the ambulance.
Oh,
It's just
wow.
been a fiasco. but to deal with the claims process and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm at a deal and fight with insurance companies to get, chemotherapy paid for. It's just like something, I don't know, people don't care. Just,
We're in a different mindset, and I think that's why even Kristen brought it up, is that the aging population have a lot to offer in the workforce. We really do. The younger generation have a lot to be desired in the workforce right now, but we do have a lot to offer, and we do want to mentor those younger workers, and so that we keep our edge on being able to be leaders in the world. My information and my counterpart Misty's is down there. We're with vocational rehabilitation, the best kept secret of the state of Tennessee. We help people with disabilities, and disabilities are a broad aspect that can be physical, mental, ADHD, untreatable diabetes, things like that. So those all apply
does it
for our
have to be, a
services.
doctor has to have assigned you that?
Yeah, we have to have a diagnosed, mental health, anything that, and then we can work. Our partners at AJC though are there too to support, so we're all part of the state and we all work to make you successful. That's the end goal.
I have a question, did you say the social security one would be the 25th?
The 25th, I believe. It's the fourth Tuesday, and I think it's 25th because I was just talking to her before we left the office. They were confirming. So that'll be a good one for everybody. I'm looking forward to that one, seeing how many more years I will have to work before I can retire now. It's probably being pushed up quite a bit, but that'll be a good one. Because there is a lot of nuances to Social Security that a lot of people don't understand. It's very complex.
Yes, and with my big gap, I'm like,
Yeah.
I won't have enough social security to,
Uh,
I have to cut them
After-
cows loose.
After that one, we do have a gentleman coming in that's a financial expert that will talk about savings, 401ks, and all kinds of ways to make sure that you're prepared for retirement outside of the Social Security realm. So I think we've got a lot of good topics coming up. So I'd invite you to come back and bring your friends and family, because the more the merrier. We appreciate the library always hosting us for this. And that's the end of the presentation. Unless you have any questions for me.
You said every other Tuesday and,
It's the second and fourth Tuesday
okay,
of the
second
month.
and fourth.
Yep.
Starting February 11th.
Yep, that'll be our next one. And this one should be pretty interesting. We're very fortunate to have AJC and some really great speakers coming to talk. So we also have one coming up on technology. That'll talk about the basics, computers, cell phones, how technology works in the world, and things we need to know.
And you deal with disability?
Yes, we deal with disabilities.
Is there a list of disabilities online?
There really isn't, because it can be broad. It's very broad.
It must be broad.
ADHD, we work with the autism spectrum,
Okay.
people that have gotten
just-
injured at work,
Seems I know a lot of people that collect disability. And like, I have a half sister that lives a couple hours away, but everyone in her house collects all these checks. And they get food stamps, and they're like trying to get money from us. And I'm like, y'all are doing like 5 times better than we are. And I'm like, I've lived off my 401k, plus it's tanked. And my life has changed. I had a fiance that had money, but he had a massive heart attack last year and died.
Oh my goodness, they're here.
Never, it's,
Right.
everything stopped, everything changed. The plan just died, so
Yeah, well, the future's unknown.
it is
That's just
unknown.
to,
It's
try to be as prepared as we can be.
yeah, my sister says, well, she went for something, and then she says, well, I didn't know what to answer, but I ended up getting a crazy check. Is there a crazy check? Is that just slang for it? I don't mean to be,
I'm
I
not
don't wanna hurt
sure.
no one's feelings, but
That's slang.
these people are collecting crazy checks, so how crazy do I need to be to collect a check?
I don't know, we've not figured it out yet.
Can't afford to go to the doctor, I mean,
when you're on
I'm
SSI
up to
or
date, I'm up
SS,
to date
yeah.
with the doctor, but when you've gotta pay that out-of-pocket deductible first, I'm still paying for it.
Yeah, when you're on Social Security Disability or SSI, there are a lot of different rules for working and things like that. So, and we do have a
Can't make
benefit specialist that
above a
helps with
certain
that.
amount or
Right.
something. I just, well.
But, you know,
I am ready to
we're
work,
all
so,
more than available to help you understand, investigate, explore, I mean, that's where it starts, so.
I'm sure I'm fine, surely I'm not that crazy.
No,
Hanging out the end of the bridge is probably getting to me a bit.
So, I appreciate everybody joining us
Thank you,
online and in person, and, remember the next is for the 11th.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate